I need to be able to transfer my center of gravity left and right, and I want to be able to use my ankles to do it. Because if I'm flat-footed, if I stand here like this and I rotate, I'm fairly flexible, but I can't really get too far around on this wall. But if I use my ankle rolls, I can go back and forth. Now if I do a little bit of what I call windshield wipers, I drop my center of gravity and I rotate my knees. My midline stays, and I can rotate, and it transfers a little bit. So if I have ankle rolls, windshield wipers, I come over on my toe, now I can finish. So I've got a load share from my feet all the way up. That's how you're going to save your back. I'll have a lot of my juniors, they'll hit 20 balls. Or do 20 ankle rolls, take a rest, 20 ankle rolls, and then we'll hit 10 balls. So they get used to rolling their ankles. Okay, now once you get a little bit of an ankle roll, now go lower the center of gravity, point the toes out just a tiny bit, and then rotate the knees, windshield wipers. A lower center of gravity gives you pretty good control. And if you're staying centered, you're doing it properly. Here's the difference between this is windshield wipers, this is my knee bending. The difference is my midline moves all over the place. When my knees bend, when my knees rotate, it stays in the middle. Okay? So let's go ankle rolls, and then a little bit of windshield wipers go over on your toe, like you're going to. Standing like this, this is knee rotations, and you can see from the front what's happening and from the back what's happening, right? My knees are actually rotating. Bending causes my midline to drift. If I just bend, you can see how I migrate, right? Now, why was Nicholas one of the best players in the world for so long? I mean, obviously he's a great course manager and a fantastic putter, but he had one of the best lead knees in golf for the longest period of time. If this thing clears, he rotates. He doesn't have to move, right? So when I get to here and this rotates, that happens. Now, how do I get that feeling of rotation to happen? So, like, if I've got him and we're rotating, just take your golfy stance, like set up like golf. Now, his feeling at address should be that he's pushing out with his knees both ways. So if he's pushing out, so go, yeah, give me the push, great, and his hips are strong. Now, as he turns back, he continues to push out with both legs and still turns. And as he makes his downswing, he's still pushing out, and that way he can't get ahead of it, because he's got force going out all the time, right? Later in his career, Hogan had to have his knees, all of his legs taped from here down, right? So it'd be hard for him to have too much knee flex. So it would have looked like he was doing that, but that wouldn't have been what he wanted to do if he had fully functional, like, strong legs. There was a health problem that he had to get wrapped, right? But if you have that ability, now take a look. Now it's not any different from any other sport you played. Tennis, throwing a ball, because nobody goes back and throws like this. It doesn't look right. You're always loading in an athletic position. So golf isn't any different. And that's that push up. There, that looks way more athletic. Now, if you maintain your push all the way through, like as you make your now push out all the way, that gives you a left side now. Mm-hmm. Instead of just getting here and then diving at it, you give yourself a left side. Now you can actually control the club face. So that's what we're trying to work on, is those default sort of movement patterns. Okay, so we've got midline, right? Strong and balanced with my hands on my midline. I got center of gravity controlled. The center of gravity of this is close to my center of gravity, and I can lower my center of gravity. Those two things are physical advantage. I gather it using gravity, right? And I gather it to my midline while I close to my center of gravity. I'm using centripetal force because I'm rotating within my base of support, right? I can feel that heavy point because that's the point where the most weight at maximum velocity. Now the last one, and we've done a little bit about it, or a little bit on it, is the second to last one, is ground reactive force. And we talked about it a little bit. If I want to have ground reactive force, I have to get low and then actually apply power, right? Now that's what we were talking about here, being loaded, lowering first, and then transferring. And that's just due to the anatomy and physiology just determine that, right? But if I work within what I've got, that's going to happen.